If you're serious about getting to your goal weight this year, then today's podcast is for you. If you are willing to get real. Welcome back to the JoLynn Braley Show. Today is episode number 482 of the show, and it is Get Real episode number 109. We're getting real, and I'm going to be sharing with you 3 ways to guarantee that you actually, literally, for real, get to your goal weight this year. You just have to be willing to get real. Hello, 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 hello! Welcome back to the JoLynn Braley Show. My name is JoLynn Braley, permanent weight loss coach. I am the founder of the Inner Self Diet. The Inner Self Diet is the required diet that you need if you really want to heal the root of your ongoing struggles to get your eating under control, to stay consistent, to stay motivated, to feel good while you're living a healthy lifestyle so that you can see this all the way through, get to your goal weight, and then actually maintain your goal weight, which means that you got to heal the root of whatever is driving your emotional eating, your binge eating, whatever's going on there. I have been professionally coaching since 2009. I launched my mind-body weight loss business back in 2007. And since 2007, I've inspired millions to open their mind to a different way of looking at weight loss and to actually start taking some real life action. What we're going to do today is look at 3 ways that you can guarantee that you actually get to your goal weight this year. Now, before we get going, a couple of things. Number 1, I have something new for you. If you'd like to get my top 9 weight loss tips, this is to celebrate 9 years of the JoLynn Braley Show, which I launched back on the first Thursday of January 2013. So what I've done is I've put together my list of my top 9 weight loss tips. And when you opt in for these, you're going to immediately get the list. And then over the next 9 days, I'm going to give you a little bit more on each one of those tips, which makes it, I think it makes it a lot easier to digest. And so it's like a mini e-course, and you can opt in for this and get it totally for free when you go to thejolynnbraleyshow.com/9. thejolynnbraleyshow.com/9. You'll be able to opt in there for free, and we'll get my top 9 weight loss tips over to you pronto. Another thing, before we go on, if you've never tuned into one of my Get Real episodes before, these are actually the most popular podcast episodes I do. I've been doing one per month since 2013, and I've gotten the best feedback on these. However, if you've never tuned in for one, you might not like it. So you might want to leave right now if you are looking for more excuses to make, more people to blame, more companies to blame, if you want to keep blaming the food, if you want to stay in a pity party, if you want to just not take personal responsibility for yourself and your results. If you say that everything triggers you, all right, and nobody can talk in any way that you don't agree with because you'll be triggered, then you're not going to like today's episode, and I probably don't have anything for you on the JoLynn Braley Show either. But before you go, I just want to let you know that you're probably not going to be able to get to your goal weight if you're not willing to get real with yourself, because what getting real is all about is just being honest with yourself. Just being honest, not being mean, not beating yourself up, not, putting yourself in the dungeon and whipping yourself with chains. Getting real is getting honest so that you can take full, honest stock of where you're at now and then move forward. It's about taking full personal, badass personal responsibility for yourself. Because I'll tell you what, the only one who can guarantee that you're going to get to your goal weight is you. Now, you're going to have 100% easier time doing all of this if you have a professional coach in your corner who's willing to support you and point out to you, with your permission, your blind spots that you cannot see, the blind spots that are stopping you now, and a coach who's willing to be honest with you, you know? And the only people who want this are the ones who recognize that they've been holding themselves back, and they resonate with what I share here on my podcast. And I think another big reason that these folks resonate and actually I end up coaching them in the Inner Self Diet is because I've been there before too. I've been in that place where I was feeling sorry for myself, making all kinds of excuses, blaming anything outside of me, and just being a big old wah-wah baby, and then turning to food as a crutch. You know what else a lot of people do too is they take out their anger on food. Like, you're not going to tell me what to do, so I'm going to eat whatever I want. But it's a self-destructive pattern, and that could actually, I don't even know if I've done any podcasts about angry eating. I should make a note about that right now. Let's write that down. Angry eating. That'd be a good topic. So, today, we're getting real. If you're still here, congratulations. Obviously, you are still here because you can hear my voice right now. Anyone else who wants to continue to make excuses and stay in the pity party, they have left. And you know what? Anybody can do whatever they want to do. It's up to them. If you want to lose weight, though, you got to make some changes. So let's get real about these 3 ways that you can actually guarantee that you get to your goal weight this year. Alrighty? Oh, one other thing before I cover these. If you want to listen to my episode 52, I shared 3 steps to guarantee an easy 52-pound weight loss over the next 52 weeks. That works out to 1 pound a week. So that's 52 pounds in a year. And that's very, very reasonable, very, very doable. Maybe you've seen articles or it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's a lose weight fast scheme. Anybody who tells you that you can drop 40 pounds in a month, that's crazy. Unless you're 500 pounds overweight. You're not going to drop 40 pounds in a month. That is so unhealthy. If you are releasing 1 to 2 pounds of real fat, not just water weight, not just poop, you're not just doing cleanses, right? If you are releasing 1 to 2 pounds of real fat from your body per week, you're doing great. So anyway, if you want to listen to episode number 52, an easy way to find that, to hear my 3 steps to guarantee an easy 52-pound weight loss over the next 52 weeks, is to go to fearlessfatloss.com/blog. And then in the search bar, just type in 52 or 052 to be very specific. fearlessfatloss.com/blog. Type in the search bar 052. You'll be able to find that podcast. And that one is going to be different than what I'm talking about here today. I just wanted to give that to you in case you want to hear more. If you want to have even more input, if you really want to make this year be your year to finally get to your goal weight. And especially if you want to make sure that you're not backsliding again. Remember to get my top 9 weight loss tips to celebrate these 9 years of the JoLynn Braley Show. Get those at thejolynnbraeleyshow.com/9. And then I'll break each one down for you over 9 days in an email. I think that can help you too. All right. So what are these 3 ways to guarantee that you win with your weight this year, that you actually get to your goal weight. Number one, you might want to get a pen and paper if you want to write these down. I mean real pen and paper. There is a connection that occurs between the head, hand, and heart when you put a pen in your hand and you write pen on paper. It also forces you to focus on yourself and get present. I know, it's amazing, isn't it? It's what is that, old school to use pen and paper. But did you know that the most successful people on the planet still write things down? Yes, they do. All right. First way to guarantee that you win with your weight this year and you get all the way to your goal weight is you have to make a decision. So let's get real. When have you exactly made the decision to do this? I encourage you to look up the definition of the word decision in the dictionary. And if you do, you will find that it says decision means decise, which means to cut away all other options. If you make the decision that this is your year to finally heal the root of your out of control eating, your food obsessions, your binge eating, emotional eating, your late night stuffing, your idea or storyline that food is your only friend, food is your best friend, food is the only thing you have to look forward to in life, food is your fun, whatever it is that is your biggest challenge with this food and weight topic. Or maybe it's sugar addiction. I don't know, because I haven't talked to you. I need to actually have a two-way communication over the phone with my coaching clients in order to help them heal these problems. So right now I'm just doing a free weight loss podcast, recording this for you from my home office recording studio. But anyway, back to the topic. If you make a real honest to goodness decision that you're doing this, then you're going to actually do it. And here's something that stops so many people from making a decision. They don't know how to do what they want to do. So they tell themselves, well, I first have to figure out how to do it and then I'll decide. Or I'll see if this works and then I'll decide. It's never going to work. It'll never work. Never gonna work, never gonna work, never, 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 never gonna work, never gonna work, never gonna work, never gonna work, not gonna work. Haha. It's not gonna work. You have to make the decision that you are going to get the result that you want. And that result, what is it? That's another good point. Do you know what you want? Are you clear on exactly what you want? What is your healthiest weight? That's not your skinniest, weakest weight. That is your healthiest weight where you've got great energy, you've got great muscle tone, which means that this is not just about eating better. This is also about doing your cardio, doing your strength training. It's about living a healthy lifestyle to get to your best weight so you look your best in your jeans and you feel your best in your own skin and you are happy with yourself, right? Nothing wrong with looking your best. And of course, you want to be happy with yourself. You want to feel good. But when you're stuck in that frustrating struggle and you've almost given up and you hate yourself and you feel like a horrible, ugly troll living under a bridge who can't stop eating cookies, you're in a pickle. To get out of that pickle, you have to make the decision that you're willing to do whatever it takes to get out of the pickle. You might not know what you need to do, but you have to make the decision. So if you've never actually made the decision to get to your goal weight and stay there, then you will continue to talk about weight loss. You'll continue to listen to podcasts about weight loss. You'll continue to think about weight loss. You'll continue to tell yourself next Monday will be the time. And before you know it, this whole year will be gone again. And you'll be in the holiday season telling yourself, oh, I'll make a New Year's resolution, which by the time you're listening to this podcast right now, nobody's even talking about New Year's resolutions. That was all over with in the first 2 weeks of January. So, New Year's resolutions are already out the window because those are done by the first 10 to 15 days of the new year. Nobody's even thinking about them anymore after that. So you got to make that decision. And then what is it that stops you from making this firm, clear decision that you are getting to your goal weight this year? It could be lots of things. Your fear of being hungry, your fear of what other people are going to think, your fear of people saying, oh, you're dieting again, your fear of not succeeding, your fear of succeeding. And then what are you going to do? What will you worry about then if you actually solve this problem? If this is your main problem in life, if you're successful in all other areas of your life and this is your only issue, then what are you going to complain about? Some people don't want to come out of their comfort zone and feel their best and live their best life because they need to have something to talk about and complain about and crank about. So what are all of the objections that you have to making the decision to get this weight off and keep it off? You're afraid that you're going to miss out. I mean, the fears and the excuses and the reasons that stop you from making the decision to make the changes that you must make in order to get to your goal weight, they can go on forever. Now, what the dangerous ones are the ones that you're not aware of. Those are your blind spots. Those are the ones that you've lived with for so long, you can't even see them anymore. That's why you need coaching if you really, really, really want to fix this problem. Before we're done here today, I'll share with you your first step you can take if you would love to have me help you get to the root of your out of control eating issues and actually be able to live a healthy lifestyle without fighting with yourself anymore. Just do it struggle free. That's the work that I do in the Inner Self Diet. But first, let's finish up these 3 ways for you to guarantee that you get to your goal weight this year. All right, so you got to make the decision. It's that simple. And remember, please, if you don't make the decision to get to your goal weight this year, you can't get out of making a decision because what you'll be doing is making the decision to stay overweight and to stay in the struggle. There's no alternative. If you don't decide to succeed, then you are by default deciding to stay in your comfort zone and to continue to fail and continue to frustrate yourself. Does that make sense? You can't get out of it. You are making a decision to fail when you refuse to decide to succeed. And if you fully decide to succeed, then you have to move forward to take the action to do it, right? So then you have to take action to heal whatever is in your way. Number 2 way to guarantee that you get to your goal weight this year. You got to get real with yourself. You got to get real with yourself. Now, what you can do to start is you take a pen and paper and list out all of your excuses, all of your fears. Now, this is going to be much easier to do. It's going to be much easier for you to be totally honest with yourself and get real if you have first made the decision that you're going to do whatever it takes to get to your goal weight this year. And if your goal is not just to lose weight, but if your goal is to change your eating behaviors so that you don't go back into this same way of eating again, then what you're deciding is not just to lose weight, not just to get to your goal weight, but to heal this problem so that you can stay at your best weight. And if that is what you want, then you got to get real with yourself. Okay? What are all of the excuses that you're making? What are all of your fears? What is everything that is standing in your way, right? All of your negative thoughts, all of your fattening beliefs about yourself, about food, about what you might call dieting, all of it. Write it all out. Because if you don't write it all out, how can you address it? Just because you ignore these things, just because you choose to ignore old resentments towards yourself, resentments towards other people, towards institutions, towards the processed food industry, whatever it is that you might be angry about when it comes to your eating and your weight or food. There are many out there who go around with the thought that it's not fair. It's not fair that they are overweight. Well, yeah, it is, because your body is responding to your behaviors. And who is in control of your behaviors? It might feel like you're not in control of your behaviors, but your behaviors are motivated from your mindset. It all starts with what you think, and whatever you think repeatedly is what you're going to believe. And what you believe is going to impact and motivate your behaviors. For example, if you believe that it's too hard for you to lose weight and it's not fair and everybody else has an easier time, then what kind of food choices are you going to make? Are you going to have an easy time eating clean? Or is it more likely that you're going to just continue as you are and eat whatever you want and then continue to say it's not fair? Does that make sense? Everything starts with what's between your own two ears. Your mindset is 92.8% of what is either going to make weight loss super easy for you or it's going to make it impossible. That's why I do the work I do in the Inner Self Diet. So after you decide, if you decide that this is the year for you to get to your goal weight, and if you decide that you not only want to get to your goal weight, but you want to heal the root of these ongoing problems that you have, then the next step is to get real and just list out all of your excuses, all of your fears, list out anyone or anything that you're blaming, all of it, all of the negativity that is in your way right now. And then you're going to need to release all that stuff. Now, that is a bigger challenge. If you have a coach you're working with, and if they have a proven step-by-step system for healing all of this, then it's not going to be that difficult. But if you want to try to release all of that on your own, it could be as simple as making a decision to release it and putting it behind you. If you are able to do that, if you could imagine everything that you write on that paper in that exercise, getting real with yourself, if you can imagine dumping all of that negativity, all of those excuses, all of the blame, all of the limiting beliefs, and keeping in mind too that you won't be able to see the ones you're blind to, but any of them that you're able to see, if you can imagine dumping them into a suitcase, locking the suitcase, and then consciously picking up the suitcase and putting it out for the trash man to come and collect, and then seeing him come and collect it as it drives away and feeling the release of all of that baggage. If that works for you, if it's that simple, then that is fantastic if you can do that on your own. Now, there's other ways to release your baggage. Usually, it's not that easy, and the reason is because of how many years you have been struggling. When you think about it, and you go back in time and go back to the age that you were when you first started having any kind of struggle with your eating and your weight, You might not have even have been overweight back then. Like in my experience, I was 7 years old, and I remember that I was sitting in the front seat of my parents' car in the summertime, and I had on a pair of little red shorts, and I looked down at my thighs, and just like any person who sits down, your thighs are going to spread out. It doesn't matter if you're overweight or not. And I remember I looked down at my thighs, and I thought, I'm fat. I wasn't. But that's where all of my challenges with this whole topic started, worrying about it, thinking about it, and all of that. And it was many years later that I actually started to gain weight because my behaviors changed because of how I was thinking. So for you, maybe you were overweight as a child. You know the age that you were when you first started having any kind of struggle with food and your weight. And what was that age? Now, when you take that number and subtract it from your current age, what number do you get? What is that number? That number is the number of years that you've been struggling with this whole problem, and that's how old this struggle is for you. Does it make more sense after seeing this number? I hope you wrote it down, pen on paper. I hope you wrote your age, and then under that wrote the age that you were when you first started struggling, and then you subtracted the two, and you circled with your pen that number that you got out of that equation. That is how old this problem is for you. And I hope it makes a little more sense. Does it make a little more sense why just another food plan hasn't fixed this for you? Does that make any kind of sense? All right, so after you get real with yourself and you release that baggage, the number 3 way to guarantee that you get to your goal weight this year is you got to take action, and you have to do it now. You have to move forward now, not next Monday. It has to be now. Now, what is that action? I don't know unless I'm working with you, but you got to change your lifestyle. Most importantly, you got to change your mindset. It has to be a full mind-body transformation if you want to holistically incorporate your entire system in this transformation so that you don't gain the weight back. It's not that difficult to lose weight. All kinds of people out there have done it. I mainly coach women. I've coached a few cool men. But I've had many clients who, throughout their life, they lost weight. And these women say that they know how to lose weight. That's not the problem. They know how to eat right. They know how to live a healthy lifestyle. They know what they need to cook and prepare, but they're not able to get themselves to actually do it. Why is that? Well, a lot of people say that they aren't motivated. They don't have weight loss motivation. But why don't they have weight loss motivation? They don't have the right mindset. It's about what's between your own 2 ears. And actually, this whole topic of weight loss motivation, if you walk around telling yourself, I can't get motivated to lose weight, guess what? You're not going to be motivated to lose weight because you're actually brainwashing yourself not to be motivated to lose weight because you keep telling yourself, I can't get motivated to lose weight. Just another simple example. Even if you don't have a weight loss mindset, you have to take action now to move forward. It can't be this thing of always telling yourself next Monday or tomorrow morning. Why? Why can't it work like that? All you have to do is look at your past results, and that will show you why that way doesn't work. Because Monday never actually gets here, and tomorrow's never actually different. All of your power lies in the present moment. This is where you have the power to change. This is where you make your decision to succeed this year and do whatever the heck it takes Do whatever the hells it takes to get to your goal weight and stay there. And I mean, do whatever it takes, of course, in a healthy way, healthy mind, body, spirit way, to make the necessary changes. You have to make changes to what you're eating, how much you're eating, when you're eating. You've got to make those basic changes, of course. We're not talking about living in la la land and just telling yourself that I can lose weight, I can lose weight, I can lose weight while you're eating chocolate chunk brownies. All right? That is not what I am saying. I am saying that you absolutely have to change your lifestyle, your diet, your physical activity. And I'm saying that when you have a weight loss mindset, it's not a struggle to make those changes and to do those things that are part of living a healthy lifestyle. Does that make sense? It might not sound believable because if you don't have a weight loss mindset right now, all you know is struggle. That's just all you know. So these are the 3 ways that you can guarantee that you actually get to your goal weight this year. Number 1, you got to make the decision. You have to make the decision. Without the decision to do it, it's never going to happen. And if you're deciding that you're going to do whatever it takes to heal the root of your biggest weight loss challenges, whether that's emotional eating, binge eating, whatever it is, you got to make that decision to do it. Number 2, get real with yourself. Get real with yourself and use that pen and paper to do it. And then number 3, move forward with action. Now. Not later, now. And it doesn't have to be perfect action. It is more important that you take action now, and it's imperfect action, but you take that action to get going, and then as you're moving along, any imperfections that you're doing, correct them, but keep moving forward. So you do the best that you can right now to move forward now, and maybe a very simple step you could take right now is from this point forward, only eat when you're physically hungry. There's no reason to be putting food in your mouth if your body is not physically hungry. That would be like going to the gas station and pumping gas into your car when the tank is already on full. So that is something that you could start immediately, right now. Another thing you could start immediately is replace all soda with plain, clean water. I aim for 100 ounces of clean, clear water daily. That's what I drink. So those are just very simple things. There's no reason to wait until next Monday. This whole thing about the Monday or tomorrow morning and always it's some other time, part of that is addiction. That's what addicts do. So maybe that's something that you might need to get real with yourself about, that you have an addiction. And I would suggest it's not just an addiction to the food. It's not just an addiction to sugar. It's also an addiction to the struggle. It's an addiction to your comfort zone. It's an addiction to not making a decision, not wanting to take full personal responsibility for yourself, because then you can't blame anybody else. There's nobody else to blame. It's all you. This whole topic is challenging. There are many pieces to it. This is why it's not as simple as changing to another eating plan. You know, there's always some new diet coming out, right? Why are you still listening to my voice on this podcast, though, if all you needed was a new eating plan? Do you know what I mean, Jean? Does that make sense? If you want to actually get to the bottom of this, and if you are totally fed up and frustrated with this ongoing struggle, if you don't want to be frustrated anymore, and if you want to avoid backsliding again, if you want to avoid feeling like a failure again for stepping out on your own and only being able to get through one day of healthy eating, if you want help to heal the root of your emotional eating, your binge eating, your out of control food obsessions, whatever it is that's in your way, low self-esteem, negative self-talk, all of these problems that are holding you back from living a healthy lifestyle, getting the weight off and keeping it off. If you want my help to get to the bottom of this so that you can break free of the struggle, this is what I do with my coaching clients in the Inner Self Diet, and they are struggle-free with their eating and their weight by the time we get to our 8th coaching call. So that's within 8 weeks, as long as they do their homework. There's no magic fix, all right? You got to do something new. You got to be willing to do something new and learn and practice and take imperfect action until you get better. But start now. If you would love to stop wondering why you're so smart and successful in all other areas of your life, except for this one area, and in this one area you feel like a total failure. If you want my help, start by applying for a complimentary weight loss discovery session. You can do that now at www.discovery-session.com. That's www.discovery-session.com. Fill out the application, get that sent into my office. Let's see if we can get on the phone. Let's see if there's any way that I might be able to help you, because I don't know right now, since I'm just talking into my microphone and I don't know who you are unless we talk. Now, the application is only for you if you really are serious about healing this problem and breaking free of the struggle. And once again, you can get started with that at www.discovery-session.com. Also, remember that I do have my 9 top weight loss tips, which I put together in a list for you. Over a period of 9 days, I break each one of them down for you separately and give you a little bit more background and a little bit more on why is this important, why should you do this? Why do I recommend it? What is this about? What does this mean? If you want my full top 9 weight loss tips to celebrate 9 years of the JoLynn Braley Show, then you can get those at thejolynnbraleyshow.com/9. If you really want to get to your goal weight this year, you can do it. It's going to be 100% easier to do it with help, to do it with a professional coach in your corner, or you can take the route of going it alone. And if it works for you, great. Either way, I hope that you really reach your weight loss goal this year, that you get to that place where you're not avoiding your reflection in a mirror or in a storefront, where you're looking your best in your jeans, where you're feeling good in your own skin, where you wear a bathing suit when you go on vacation, and you're not hiding out anymore. You're not hiding behind the fat. You're not living in shame. You're feeling great. You're able to easily live a healthy lifestyle. You have a normal, healthy relationship with food. And most importantly, you have a healthy relationship with yourself. Your mindset is positive. You are on your own side instead of constantly beating yourself up in your head. And you're feeling really, really, really good in all areas of your life. Wouldn't that make a fantastic 2022 for you if you can get there? Wouldn't that be awesome? You got to make the decision in order to get going with it. I'll be back with you again on episode number 483 of the JoLynn Braley Show. Until then, congratulate yourself for being willing to start getting real with yourself today and hanging out here all the way to the end of today's free weight loss podcast. I am JoLynn Braley, permanent weight loss coach, founder of the Inner Self Diet, the diet that actually works, the diet that heals the root of your ongoing food and weight struggles, and it breaks you free of the struggle in 8 weeks or less. I wish you your best life while living inside of your ideal body. Yay!